between the Redland Bombers there at home to the Brisbane Lions. 72 points the margin at three-quarter time. Redland 15-10, 100, leading the Lions 3-10-28. Multiple goal scorers in Daniel Zufa, who had little purple patches every now and again. Pfeiffer, Hughes and Estel, but just an overall dominance there. The last term, the third quarter, only 3 scoring shots per side, Will Ralston, and it was, as he beautifully called, was an arm wrestle. But we'll have Archie Smith versus Hunter here for the opening bounce of the final term.
Sondergeld also out for the day, it looks. He has pulled up gingerly as Hunter wins the first tough tap of the day, but it only goes as far as the Lions player in the middle. Back to Rains, and he goes inboard to Radford, to O'Brien. Better start from Brisbane. He's got Crisp out wide, doesn't quite hit him. Another poor foot error. Crisp applies a good tackle. Hunter picks this one up, evades Smith. Could have been holding the ball, got away with it. And they go back. This is gone. Oh, just got a handball off to Rains. And Rains puts it inside 50. Not quite. Closes underneath it. Love it. Back to Reese. To Smith. Smith's got Brewer. He elects to go inboard. This is Rogerson. Rogerson plays on, thinks it hit the deck. Back to Smith. Now he's got Brewer. Bad handball, but Brewer makes up for it. Pushes one tackle away. Handball over the top. Bit of trouble, but they work it out as they always have done today. Rogerson, Smith, back to Brewer. Those three combined well, but Brewer's still in trouble. Zufa.
You're right.
Not quite his best kick today, but it works out perfectly fine as Estel will stroll into an open goal, handball over the top, and once again it's another procession for Hughes as he kicks his fifth.
We'll give him 4.
We'll give him 4.
Just to start with.
I don't think I've got one right.
But they've been racking them up, so with the tally scores,
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of.
hard to write. It's because they have been. And again, the movement mightn't have been precise from Zufa there, but the kick was still to the advantage side of his player. And yeah, they run for each other, and that's the main thing. So we'll have a look at those goal scorers as we go along.
And just there, we had 2 free players that were completely on their own. So it doesn't really matter where the kick lands as long as you've got those options. So we have Hughes down for 4 after that goal.
4 apiece to he and Zufa. That's a potent double up in the forward line. But again, nicely moved there by the Bombers. There's been a centre square infringement. Free kick will go to Redland.
It was against Hayes, I believe. I don't know quite what he was doing there. He ran in very early. Freeman affects the tackle. Close. And we'll have another throw up.
It's the first one of those we've seen today.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Looks like Archie Smith got over the top of his opponent there with Reese buried underneath there. Now the ball in dispute, picked up by Jack Crisp, and he is pounded by Reese on a front-on tackle. And there'll be another ball up in the centre square, so again a slow start to this term. Outside of that nice bit of running from the Bombers for the goal for Cleve Hughes. Pfeiffer, again a good nearful debut, could have got a free kick for being held regardless. Ball gets handballed out wide, the Bombers still on the move. Zufa back to Reese, looks to pinpoint a pass, McStay intercepts, but Salter reads the ball nicely, gets it towards half forward. Thompson scrubs a handball out, he might get the ball back here. No, it'll be intercepted by the Lions. Thompson applies the tackle instead. The umpire will say we'll ball it up inside 50.
I'll tell you what, this tackling pressure has been AFL standard today. You really couldn't fault how well they've been doing. Rains works it out of the fence, rebound. That's landed straight onto the chest of the Redland player. He puts it back inside 50. Chip little kick, but that's a good spoil by Chris. Chris could have taken a mark. Thompson, I think it's a downfield free kick. Yeah, it is downfield. So it didn't look like he took the mark. So it shouldn't matter in the end.
Just the last few minutes there is Brad Reese really injecting himself into the game, and Matt Thompson lining up from 30 metres out directly in front should be able to extend that lead.
You'd think so. Thompson comes in on his right foot, and that's a comfortable goal for him. So picking it up where they left off in that second quarter, and they extend the lead once more. Tell you who you've got to feel sorry for today is Jack Crisp. He's got his hands on the ball almost more than any player in these centre clearances, but he has just been absolutely swamped on every time he's come near it.
He's been the lone wolf in there in the centre bounces for the Brisbane Lions, but you're dead right. The pressure they've applied to him has amounted to the ball being turned over. He's getting his first hands, but getting buffeted from pillar to post. But notice they've put Polkinghorne in the middle now.
Yeah, a bit more experience shouldn't hurt.
So Redland extending that lead. 78 points to margin, 74 points to margin now, I should say. Yeah. We'll make that 84. My maths are getting as bad as yours, Will. I'm sorry. Michael Price and Will Ralston mucking up the scores for you here on Nearful TV, round 3. Ball bounce in the middle. Give that one to the big fella in Hunter for Redland. Handball out from Cass. Could have copped a free kick too, but one given away to the Brisbane Lions. It was a little bit overzealous by Blake Brewer. So it's with the young fella in Isaiah Edwards. Edwards now leans back, kicks it towards contest there. Nicely roved by the big fella in Smith. Rolls reversed, close. The handball to Crisp. Probably deserves a goal if he could ping it, but no. Out of bounds on the full. It goes in the right forward pocket at the clubhouse end of the ground.
Just an ugly ball drop from Crisp, but how good did Smith look there, showing off his athletic talents as Redland work it out of defence. This is Rogerson. He's been handy across half back. Rogerson, that's a good kick to Hughes, and Hughes has plenty of options here. Who's he going to go with? Goes out wide. This is Hunter, but it's a poor kick. Lands straight in the breadbasket of Conway. And Conway can work it out through Rains. Rains can take a bounce on the wing. Just elects not to. Just goes long to Freeman. But earning front position to Smith, and he spoiled the ball over the boundary line once again. So it's going to be another throw in 50 metres out from the Lions goal.
A couple of early goals for the Bombers here in the final term. Extending the lead out to 84 points. We'll have Archie, Smith and Hunter contesting that boundary throw in. Smith gets it down to Polkinghorne, who gets back onto the right foot, kicks it towards a contest where Freeman gets away or gets rid of his opponent. The ball spills. It's a snap by the Lions. That looks like it's through. Identifying the player a little bit different. That's Charlie Driffield, one of the top-ups. That looked like a great snap under pressure and a goal result. So they get their fourth, 4-10-34. It's back to the 78-point margin with Redland leading 17-10, 112.
Yeah, that was a really good goal. Good on Charlie Driffield from the under-17 division of the Lions Academy. Looks like he was about to get mowed down by the player in pursuit, but he somehow got a snap out. And finally, the Lions are able to put one on target, so they've hit 4-10 now, still 10 behind, same as Redland. The only difference being the 13 goals separating the two teams.
Well, double the inside 50s, as you said, at three-quarter time, 44-22. It'd probably be around about 48-25 now. So it's starting to tell as the ball drops down in the middle. Again, the Bombers get the ball out with Salter, but it's intercepted by another one of the top-ups in Lewis Radford.
Smith not quite getting the jump he was getting in the first half. I think he's tiring by shouldering the massive workload. That's a great mark by Close, not paid. Redland will get their hands on it. This is Cass, I believe. Puts it inboard. They've got a mark in centre wing.
So Cass with the ball now for Redland. He'll go long down the line. Good contest there. Ball over the back. Picked up by Rogerson. Left foot long. Curled around. Just missed that goal again. They look like they're willing to take a ping from anywhere, the Bombers, and why not if you're leading by the odd 79 points.
Just pot shots now. It's turned into a bit of a party for them. Miller versus Hunter. That was always going to be a one-sided battle. Hunter. One of Redland's best, to be honest.
Pretty
dangerous
formidable.
kicking board.
A formidable size ruckman in Hunter.
Hunter and Malone were pretty dominant last week as well, as Lovett on the wing was able to find a target. This is Cass as well. Cass, these foot skills have been good all day from the Bombers, as this is Pfeiffer. McStay on the mark, tries to lay a tackle, just does enough. The Lions can handball this one out of defence. Rains over the top. Close. Treads water. And dishes it into Richie. Richie's got Polkinghorne in the middle. Now Polkinghorne can run. elects to switch. This is Conway. Conway feigns left, turns right. Over the top to Gardner. He's got a spare player inside 50 as well. He elects to take the shepherd. Gardner. Short pass to Maguire. Oh no, and he's dropped a sitter, has Maguire. I was just about to compliment them, but he's put it to a dangerous position, and that is a push in the back. That is just a comedy of errors from Brisbane.
That's something you don't want to see from your senior player, taking it casually when you do have the good pass and the good work being undone by just being a bit light on, taking the ball out in front of you as Casheezi sees the ball out over the boundary line. It's not something you'd expect from Maguire.
Well, it was finally the first time that Brisbane were able to string a series of quality disposals together into a 450 entry, and yeah, disappointing result.
Short throw in. I think the central umpires asked the boundary umpire to have another crack at it, which he will. So the ruckman gets to reset. Hunter for the Bombers versus Jono Freeman for the Lions. I'll give that one to Freeman. He tapped it down to Hayes. He was immediately tackled, spilled the ball. Ball's going towards the boundary line again with Rains and kicks it. Off the ground, it'll dribble over just a little bit closer to their goal in the left forward pocket. We've got the Redland Bombers leading by 79 points. Just about 10 minutes gone of the final term here at Victoria Point.
When Freeman's been in the ruck, he's been handy.
But good athleticism. He's a good project player, Freeman. There's things they can do with him.
Yeah, definitely. Redland able to rebound this one. We've got Hughes and Estill out wide. They can work it out between each other. Hughes runs on. He's got Estill over the top and he'll give it to him. Estill can run inside 50, but he kicks it to Zuffa. And this shouldn't be an issue for Zuffa, I would have thought, on his left foot. And of course it isn't. Zuffa has picked up a bag. That's 5 for him. He's been unreal. You'd almost call him their best. Well, who can you call their best? They've had so many.
Well, they've moved the ball around in midfield. I like Salter's game, the co-captain, the Grogan medalist. He's a player that just racks up the possessions, that does stuff with them. Cars as well, the other co-captain. He's the spiritual leader of this Redland Bombers football side.
It's been a captain's game, so to speak.
So to speak. 84 points the margin.
Well, I guess that's something the Lions can aim for. Let's see if we can keep this in double figures.
Well, that's it. We've got to have something to aim for when you've still got a good 20 minutes left of the term. Final term here with Archie Smith and Paul Hunter in the ruck. Still a very warm day. We hit about 31, 32 degrees earlier on. The players would have felt it as we get into the final term. And ball back to Cars. He picks it up, here comes Zuffa! Oh, big fly, ball hits the deck. Polkinghorne dealt with his player illegally. It was a free kick. A nice little push for good measure, and that was Damien Stephen. Player still down, have a look at that for us, Will. There's ball beautifully delivered inside 50, and once again the Bombers will have a set shot at goal. We do have one of the Redland players on the deck as Estill takes another mark, and he'll be shooting for his fourth.
I see a 0. I think it might be Rogerson. He was just camped underneath a big fly from Zuffa, I think it was.
Yep. And so Reece Estill from Mount Gravatt comes in, unloads from about 40. It's a wobbly conveyance, but it gets through. No, one behind results. So it's 18-12, 120 to the Redland Bombers, to the Brisbane Lions, 4-10-34 here on Near Full TV.
Kick out for Brisbane. Once again, long down the line, Smith underneath it. Smith nearly snaffled it. Picked up his own ball, evades a couple of tacklers. He's done well there, Smith. Crisp. That's another poor kick from Crisp. His disposal efficiency would be down today, I would have thought. And that is a frustrating 15-metre penalty for Brisbane. And the second one to close, I believe. So Tyler Jones is going to waltz into about 15 metres out. I've never liked that rule. I think 50 metres is an awfully harsh penalty for taking a step over the line.
Big penalty for 1 or 2 steps, yeah. I think you're right there, Will.
Close's first 50 metre was justified, but that one I'm not too sure about as Jones comes in. And that is a piece of cake for him. That's another goal for Redland, pushing it out to a 92-point lead.
It's getting ugly, if it wasn't already.
This is almost footy at its worst when you're a player. And you know for a half of football, there's almost nothing you can do. It's an inevitable loss.
What you can do is keep presenting and letting the coaching staff know that you're one of the ones who will continue to do so regardless of the situation. But again, we got to point out the fact that half a dozen or so of the top-up players that were used last week by the Brisbane Lions aren't being used this week. They had 5 promoted from the near full side straight into the seniors, including Jackson Payne, who kicked 5, and a couple of very good running players. As the Lions win the contest out of the middle, O'Brien kicks it long towards 50. Maguire flies. Hunter for the Bombers gets it down. Jono Freeman on the deck can't get a handle on it, but the Bombers can. They lose it for a moment. It spills back. O'Brien through traffic, the handball onto Driffield. He kicks it long. He's looking for a teammate. Is that Rains backing back with the ball?
Yeah, it's Rains.
Takes the mark. Sun in the eyes there he would have had, and 20 metres out on a slight angle. Again, bigger bodies getting involved, and they move the ball forward.
He loves a goal at AFL level. His game's been okay today. Still not quite bashing the door down, but no one really has been today.
Very difficult for anybody to make an impression. I think Redland's defence has been absolutely outstanding today. Even in the midfielders dropping back into the defensive slots as well, filling up the gaps, putting the pressure on whenever the Lions have looked like they've got a sniff. So Rains, the experience of Rains comes in and bangs through one for the Brisbane Lions. It's their 5th, so 5, 10, 40 plays, 19, 12, 106. It's now 86 points in favour of the Bombers here. About 17 minutes gone on the final 2.
So that's their 5th goal for the game. Rains, probably the first real senior player to get on the scoreboard. Close has got one. Have you seen McGuan's game? He's been floating in and out. First game of the season, wouldn't expect him to.
Well, again, when he was actually involved in passages of play, he looked like he had good movement and whatnot, and you can see some of those passes of experience. But again, this first game back in is going to be a little bit rusty. Have a few chinks to iron out. As the ball's contested again, Archie Smith couldn't pick it up, but Crisp again, trying hard all day. Gets it back to O'Brien again. I've called his name a few times. Back to Ritchie. He drops it, picked up by Howard for the Bombers. Now it's with Brewer. Brewer from inside the centre square, mind you, as a long ping. Oh, there he lets it bounce to Darcy Gardner. Luckily it took a little spin and 1 point results.
In its trajectory, I thought that was going to fly all the way.
87 points now for the Bombers.
A big kick from Brewer. Gardner is going to do the kick-out duties once again. Kicks to himself. This has just been one after the other. It's a poor kick, and it's going to land with Zufa. No. It still bounces the way of Redland. Dangerous kick inside 50. Grew on the end of it. What can he do? That one's going to bounce before it hits the behind post. It's going to be a throw-in right next to it.
Could think of worse things to do than come to this particular ground on a Saturday afternoon for a game of footy. Beautiful, beautiful day for it. Zufa went to the ruck contest, the ball spilled over the back, picked up there by Edwards. He's tackled, scrubbed out of defensive 50. It's going to bounce back very quickly though, methinks. Hunter, the big fella, gets the ball on centre wing, looks for a teammate in Josh Smith, takes the mark between wing and half forward on the outer side. Sees a teammate in Brad Howard, the Toowoomba product, takes the mark. Looking to Rogerson at centre half back. Looking to drag up those Lions players. Rogerson. Hunter in the rucks have been very competitive as well. Gets it over to Howard, Brad Howard, at right half back for the Bombers. Chipping it around, just keeping possession as we speak.
Yeah, they haven't been afraid to do this today. Rogerson. He's thrust it left foot to Jones. Jones has people screaming him from all directions. That's almost a great kick. McStay. Good shepherd there from close. McStay to Smith. They tell him to hold. He handballs to O'Brien. Freeman's there. It's going to land in his path against 2 players like that. Oh, and he goes solidly into the fence, but he looks fine. We'll have a banjo throwing about 40 metres out.
Adrian Williams timed his run well, just came off the bench there and straight at Jono Freeman, so sort of blocked the path there. Throw in, close, slaps it down for Brisbane. It's picked up there by, Reese has a big bump there. Scott it was who got the handball out. Reese gets slung after getting rid of the ball. It's still in dispute here. It's with Passfield. Tackled without the ball, one of the Bombers players, and will cop a free kick.
They could have called about 6 free kicks there if they wanted to.
There were several. The players
players
getting very tired, methinks. It's been a very warm day. Unseasonably warm day. As the Bombers go back, looking to switch play, Williams over to the outer side of the ground, and again, Salter racking up the touches at right half-back for Redland. They go down the outer side, again moving the ball with ease. It ends up with Brewer. Brewer kicks along to Cleve Hughes, who must think because there's nobody standing next to him. He gets back 45 metres out. It's a tight angle, but why not? If you've got 40 a name, why not try for a bag?
He had Zuffa free for a while there, but at this point in the game, I think being a bit selfish is hardly going to come into question.
It's allowable. It's Cleve Hughes now. We'll let go from about 45. Goal umpire does just a minor amount of work. It sails through the middle. That's 5 for Cleve Hughes officially, just to match his 5 goals last week against Ainsley. Played about 25 minutes here of the final term that's their 20th. Redland 20-13, 133 to the Brisbane Lions 5-10-40, back to a 93-point or 97-point margin.
Well, we were talking up there spread of goal kickers earlier in the game,
93.
but they've only had 6.
Okay. It just seems like there's more goal scorers
Seems
than
like
that.
there is. And there's definitely players that could have scored more than they have. When you've got 6 goal kickers kicking 20 goals, you know you've got a lot of talent up there in that forward line.
Some very talented players. Zuffa, Hughes, Estel. Everyone's contributed.
Yeah, Smith will win that ruck to his favour. Chris once again got first hands, just couldn't get a kick on it. Salter, he has been exquisite today, and that goes straight to Zuffa. Between Salter and Zuffa, I don't think he'll be able to split them. They've both been outstanding. So Zuffa is going to line up almost identically from where Hughes just kicked his last goal. Zuffa waltzes in. Gives it plenty of height. And that... Oh, the players are... They're saying it hit the post. And that's what the goal umpire agrees. Gee, it looked like it went straight through the middle. So that's a kick out. O'Brien's going to take that and back flank. O'Brien down the wing. So it's another poor kick. And all young Hartley can do is attempt to spoil it over the line.
So we're up to just past 23, 24 minutes of the final term. Late in the final term, we'll call it, with the boundary umpire to throw it in. Archie Smith versus Andrew Smith for Redland. Again, Cass gets it out to Brewer. Brewer kicks it inside 50. Hughes with a big fly. Ball spoiled. Nicely picked up by Conway. It's hacked out of defence there by Burke. Chris, probably Brisbane's best today, gets the ball away to Hayes. It's going to end up on the wing, a hotly contested situation. Dropping the mark there is young Driffield, the goal scorer. O'Brien again to Chris. He's just basically caught by another one of those pressure-filled tackles there by Tyler Jones. Inside 50. It ends up with Zuffa. Zuffa sees a man by himself, and it is the co-captain, Phil Cass.
I don't know about that holding the ball, because the ball came loose in the tackle. It was knocked out of his hands, and as far as I was aware, that was almost play on. But
slung him around the action, probably approaching 360 late in the game. Everybody's under pressure, including the umpires. So Cass comes in, looking for his first goal of the day. Leans back, he starts it right. Will it squeeze through? No, one behind result. So we're up to 135, place 40. It is a 95-point margin here at Victoria Point in favour of the Redland Bombers, the home side.
Gardner again kicks to himself, goes to the right wing for him. Freeman went for the most ambitious scream I've ever seen in my life. And that kick, it is going to work out, if you don't mind. Cass is going to have a second crack. I don't think he's kicked a goal today. No, he hasn't. He's not on the scoreboard, so there's a lot of support coming from the boundary for Cass to kick his first. The co-captain. Cass comes in from 50 metres out, starts it right. It's not going to score. It's well done by Gardner. Gardner's been gallant in defence for Brisbane. He's had plenty of balls coming in long and deep.
Been a couple of very effective targets to battle against for the Brisbane defence. Ian Hughes and Daniel Zufa. As the throw-in comes in. Spread forward there by Stephen. Still in dispute. Probably tapped it forward when he might have grabbed it, but it worked out for the Lions. O'Brien gets the handball out to Driffield and they're out down the centre wing. Matt Maguire, good strong set of hands under an enormous amount of pressure from the defender and Adrian Williams. A little bit of cramp settling in late in the game for the old hardy head. I'm getting crampy just watching him, I've got to tell you. Maguire down the outer wing. It's taken there by Nick Hayes. Hayes now wants to get into the centre. Rains has moved to him. Again, there's not a lot of movement going forward. Again, O'Brien, Zach O'Brien, who's tried very hard today as well. He wants to switch it, comes out to the commentary wing, finding McStay, who waits for the bounce, picks it up, gets around his opponent just into Burke, kicks it forward to Scott Miller. He wants to get moving quickly. Oh, he tries to pinpoint a pass to the lead. It's a good juggling mark. You might have to pay that to Close.
You have to pay that.
Takes it on the 50 metre. I was about to say that was very ambitious to kick because Close was in between two Bombers defenders. Strong enough to get his first hands to the ball and then recover for the second grab. So he's had a couple of moments in this game, Michael Close.
He's claiming he marked it just inside 50, and I think the umpire's bought it, so he's giving himself maybe just enough range. We're talking about O'Brien's game. I think he's been very solid for Brisbane, and I think Conway has been keep his head up. He's done some good things as well.
Absolutely. Now, Michael Close, again, as we talked about him, North Ballarat product, taking number 32 in the 2012 draft. He leans back from 50, kicks it to the goal square, big pack flies, punch defensively from the Bombers. They're that stingy, they don't want to let it go through. They want to run it out from the pack. That's beautifully done by Greer, and it's with Reese.
Reese in defence. Like you said, that was going to go straight through before behind, and Greer didn't want another point on that scoreboard. So they'll just control this tempo once again. This is Williams, fullback. Freeman dancing on the mark. And Williams, just another short chip to the back pocket. Back to Williams. Wonder if they'll do it one more time. Looks like they might. Got nothing on. So he goes down the line to Hunter. Close underneath it as well. Oh, and Hunter. Gee, he's been good. As far as rucking performances go, you can't ask much more from Paul Hunter. That's a poor kick. It floated and hovered. And Hayes was good enough to take a strong mark in front of Brewer. Hayes, he's got Conway. Conway looking for a target inside 50, but not much is moving. He goes inside to Burke. Burke switches a high kick to McStay, and that is an awful turnover. And guess who? Cutler. To Hughes. He takes a bounce. Hughes can take 2. He can take 10 if he wants. Hughes takes a third bounce and pops it through for the simplest of goals. And he's kicked 6. He betters his effort from last week.
And we've got the clubhouse right behind us here in the commentary side wing, and they are celebrating as we speak.
There's a big roar for that one.
100 points the margin, 101 points the margin now in favour of the Bombers, and this has now moved into complete shellacking territory.
Yeah, and a lot of players with hands on knees now. It's become that sort of day where this heat is just starting to sap the energy of a few players. That kick from Burke, that's a killer. When you're about to attack the inside 50, you're trying to hit a target, have a shot for goal, and you turn it over in the matter of 10 seconds, they've kicked on at the other end.
So it's a big turnaround after last week's performance from the Lions. Obviously a different side, but they defeated the Gold Coast Suns by 89 points, so we've got nearly a 200-point turnaround this week. As the Bombers move into attack again, Zufa takes the mark. onto the left foot, sees a man. That's a well-weighted kick.
Oh,
Well-weighted kick off a couple of steps and beautifully taken under pressure from Matt Thompson about 30 metres out on a slide angle. Again, Daniel Zufert. I almost think for the Bombers, their three co-captains are probably their best three, in Cass, Zuffer and Salter.
We've almost had a shot on every side, I think.
Well, let's have a look at this one. It's with Thompson.
Oh.
And puts the final nail in this coffin. The Redland Bombers have done it on the bit here at Victoria Point Casheezi Stadium. It is 22. 15, 147. Sorry, plays 5, 10, 40. 107 points in the end, Will.
Sorry, I cut you off there, Mike. There's a song rings around the ground. The Bombers faithful enjoyed that one. There was a big roar for that last goal as they managed to get their 7th goal kicker of the day on the sign.
And the crowd favourite in Matt Thompson being from the Redland Juniors as well.
Yeah, isn't that good? So, like you were just saying, I think between Cass, Zuffer and Salter, it's hard to split those two, but I think you can't ignore Paul Hunter's game either. He was dominant in the rush.
Absolutely agree. I think you brought it up early in the before the game. Archie Smith was always going to have a hard day at work today, and he had Hunter, Malone initially, the two of them, and got a bit of the chop out too from Andrew Smith. So they had 3 effective ruckmen going through. Archie Smith ably assisted by Jono Freeman, but again, the Bombers dominant in most departments of the game, I would have thought.
Yeah, mostly a procession for most of this game. And we said the Lions wanted to keep it under triple figures. They weren't quite able to. The best for the Brisbane, as we were discussing during the game, I think you'd give it to Crisp. O'Brien was gallant. Conway did some good things.
He had a go.
Besides that,
I probably would worry. McStay probably had a good crack in the back line, but they were under pressure all game. McStay and Gardner, so they were in the game.
Yeah.
When you've got your key forwards kicking 6 and 5 respectively, obviously it doesn't all go well for the key position players in the defence. But look, again, a lot of top-up players for the Brisbane Lions. I think they acquitted themselves reasonably well as well, especially when you're saying they're coming from the under-17 division in the Lions Academy up against the bigger bodies of Redland. I think that's what did it initially. The tackling pressure, the bigger bodies, and the use of the ball. The clangers from the Lions, it would have killed them a lot of the turnovers going through.
the playing account would be a real blight on their performance today. But like you just said, in that first and second quarter, those young players, I think they felt like they were able to stand up in the tackle. They were going to break some tackles, but it became pretty evident early on that the tackling pressure was just far too much for them. And the experience eventually won out pretty comfortably.
Now, again, you've got to make the excuse that the ball wasn't being delivered in, as the clubhouse faithful are applauding their Redland Bombers as they walk off 107 points in front. They're returning serve, which is great for the game. Love that when the players actually return serve to the supporters, especially in the NEFL level. We're so close to the game here, and it's a great atmosphere.
Rogerson comes to the bench. Receive some well wishes.
No, they were kind of clinical in many departments today. And the Redland Bombers, they've done it beautifully. The final score here at Casheezi Stadium, the Victoria Point, the home ground of Redland, 22-15, 147 to the Brisbane Lions, 5-10-40. It's 107 points, the final margin. And Will Ralston, if I can say it, well debuted, Sunshine. Love your work today.
Thanks very much, Michael.
And
like you said earlier in the game, next week Redland have another home game against Southport, who have also enjoyed a promising start to 2014, and Brisbane will have another Queensland game against Aspley.
Well, that will be interesting with those couple of games. But for now, from Victoria Point, Michael Price and Will Ralston, with the Redland Bombers winning by 107 points in round 3, this is NEFL TV.